So this is a completely impromptu, candid conversation between mentor and mentee. Now, Volta,
Yes.
you guys are going through a issue that Michael Worry challenge that Michael Worry of Nuvation knows quite well, and that challenge is how do you have a business here in the U.S. yet manage an engineering team up in Canada? So, Michael, why don't you give us some thoughts on that and what you thought of the conversation today with
Sure. So
Volta.
Volta is a great company. They got a great market they're addressing in terms of handling power usage and power cost savings of businesses. And it was funny because we spent probably 20 or 30 minutes talking about that. And the reality of the challenge that was to be dealt with was dealing with remote teams, a split management team, a management team that's just getting started, and a management team in which naturally there's different views and different approaches as to how you handle situations. And so it was kind of funny. We could have just said, hey, I got 4 engineers and my partner in Toronto, and I'm down here, and I do a lot of the sales, and I do a lot of the investment, and he does a lot of the engineering. And we could have said right already, hey, I bet you have some challenges in trying to get that to work, because that's a common sort of situation or problem that
Now, Emery, Michael basically lives your challenges day in, day out. What was it like tapping into his expertise?
So that was great because he immediately understood what we're going through, and he identified with it. In fact, he had to resolve some similar issues in his own company, from what I understand, earlier in their history. So I listened intently, and I was relieved to actually hear that this was a common problem that many companies experience. I think one of the things that you do is sometimes you internalize your challenges too much and think that you're the only one who's experiencing it, you're the only one dealing with this problem, which is not the case. And going forward, like I explained, and like Michael explained, I think defining functions, roles within the company for everyone is going to take us to a better place, and we can deal with these challenges easier.
And you think your wise words were carefully listened to?
Well, I hope so. It's one of the definitions I heard of being an entrepreneur is that the definition of entrepreneur is that the scar tissue divided by the total skin area approaches 1. And so I hope that by having gone through my own fair share of fairly ignorant scar development, that we can pass on some of that knowledge. And when Nuvation got started originally, we went through a bunch of different phases, and I early on was trying to identify what would be the roadblocks and what would be the problems, and I thought it would be money, technology, marketing, sales, and many of those things were problems. But the biggest problem by far was working out personnel issues. Not that we had anything particularly complex, but you get humans together and they have different viewpoints and different opinions and different approaches on life. So what you're going through is very much an aspect of every startup. Complicated a bit in yours that your 2 founders are geographically disparate as well, but very common sort of things that you're doing.
So scar tissue divided by skin surface area, was that it? Are you approaching that magic number of 1?
That's a good analogy. One of the things actually going through the thought process as we were having that discussion, the more we talked about separation, the geographical separation, I realized that actually when the team in Canada makes a trip here or vice versa, when one makes a trip there, all of a sudden some of the issues that we think as challenges or we think that are roadblocks get resolved very easily, because when you have a face-to-face conversation, it's completely different. You can whiteboard it, you have time and space to really discuss it, whereas short conversations during the day, even a long-form conversation, you just don't have the same connection, so therefore I'm actually resolved to make it something formal, to at least have 1 or 2 trips between the 2 sides per quarter to make sure that everybody's synced up, both on the technology development side as well as business management side and investment side.